Hello, and welcome to my Modlist showcase, where I give an overview and opinion on mod lists to help find the right one for you. This time, we are looking at Krahven by user Destiny Slayer 96, released for Skyrim Anniversary Edition. The version I've been playing on is version 1.0, and I've been made aware that a large 2.0 update is being worked on, although it won't be up for a few months after making this video, but you can check on their website and Discord linked below for any changes and updates. Firstly, what is Krahven? The description reads, a roleplay-centric Anniversary Edition mod list, with player-friendly survival elements and an injury system, designed for those who enjoy a balance between challenge and an ease of exploration. The economy is harsher, the leveling framework revamped, and new creatures and enemy variants are scattered about the land. Almost all aspects of Skyrim AE have been touched in one way or another, in a way that enhances the gameplay experience. Krahven is available to download from the Wabberjack Modlist installer. While I won't cover the specifics of the installation in this video, the installation process is explained with clear instructions on the Modlist's webpage. And for further help with the download, you can follow along with my Wabberjack explanation guide video on my channel and linked below. With around 750 mods, you'll need over 100 GB of storage to download, and once installed, everything is already configured, so you can boot it up and get playing immediately. Now for what the mod list adds. For this showcase, I'll be showing clips taken throughout my current playthrough. I've spent plenty of time with this list, and so I have a good grasp on what it's like to play. For the most part, Krahven aims to provide a higher quality version of the vanilla style, although some new models do provide a change and vibrancy to the wilderness. The mod's noble Skyrim and septentrional landscapes offer the base for most of the textures, each of which being high resolution and among the most highly regarded in their category. As for foliage, the Skyrim 3D Plants and Trees mod lushes out the landscape, including countless new tree models to add variety to the world space and make every location feel unique. The trees in Riften stood out to me in particular, with a seasonal purple and orange hue which really stands out. With weather, Cathedral Weathers and Seasons is used, offering up detailed looking skies, which change depending on the time of year, and it's paired up with the Lux lighting mods, offering realistic depth to exteriors and accurate shadows for interiors. Then there's the EMB, with mythical Rudy EMB being used by default. It leans towards the darker Nordic feeling of Skyrim, while not losing the saturation. Although, if it's not for you, 2 other presets are available to try for a different look. Finally is the performance, where I was able to hold 60 FPS pretty much the entire time. Despite the list's good looks, the author has tried their best to not go too overboard, meaning people with a semi-decent PC should be able to play. The recommended specs can be found on their website if you want to check. And when it comes to bugs, as it is a 1.0 version, there are a couple of bugs to iron out, but the list author has told me they're well aware of the issues and are working to fix them, which may be done by the time you watch this. But yeah, overall, runs very well, especially considering how good it looks. The gameplay focuses on realism and roleplay options, so you have more ways to play your character, but in turn, the world doesn't revolve around you, meaning you have to work hard and all your actions have consequences. For starters, hundreds of new perks have been added with the Ordinator mod, which includes a staggering 469 new perks to unlock. This creates a huge amount of variety between characters, and allows you to really specify how you want to play. And then with the mod experience, it makes it so you primarily gain XP from completing quests and killing monsters, rather than leveling up your individual skills. Open world loot makes it so the loot you find is mostly tied to your progression, so you're unlikely to find really powerful gear early on, but will if you're willing to take on a difficult dungeon. The immersive spell learning mod makes it so you have to spend time taking notes before unlocking a spell, so you don't just open a tome and learn it instantly like in vanilla. Winter Sun, Faiths of Skyrim, adds the ability to worship a specific deity, each providing different benefits. Legacy vastly changes every race with new strengths and weaknesses, and Some Assist adds 120 new enchantments to find. For crafting, the mod Heim smithing tweaks and lightweight overhaul has been added. With this, you'll need to find new smithing manuals before being able to craft specific gear, meaning it takes more than just perk points to craft some good armour and weapons. And the Honed Metal mod allows blacksmiths and mages all over Skyrim to craft, temper and enchant your equipment for a price. If you wish to trade these newly made items, the Trade and Barter mod means the prices will vary depending on your location, race, speechcraft and so on. As for survival specific mods, Sunhelm provides many of the basic survival needs, such as hunger, thirst, weather effects and more, meaning your character will have to take care of themselves as they brave the harsh landscape. And when in the wilderness, the Skyrim Camping Expanded mod makes Creation Club campfires provide more benefits, and pairs nicely with the Hunterborn mod, which includes new hunting tools for dressing, skinning, harvesting and butchering animals. Then there's the Wounds mod, which, as the name suggests, makes it so whenever you're hit from a weapon, you have a chance to get a wound. These range anywhere from a simple bruise to full-on broken bones, and all will cripple your character in some way until healed naturally, or with some medical supplies. And the Potion Toxicity mod prevents you from constantly drinking potions to survive, as while they do provide benefits, they'll also have some negative effects, such as a decreased maximum health. Overall, the gameplay changes create a far harsher world, but also allow you to tackle it any way you wish. All these mods I've mentioned are bundled with a bunch of smaller ones which focus on immersion, like being able to fish at any pool of water, or having your character become dirty and more muscular over time. It just all comes together to bring the world to life and make you feel like a real person living in Skyrim. The survival mods mentioned previously have huge impacts on how you approach combat. But on top of all those, the mod Valraven adds a plethora of combat changes to slow it down and make every strike count. To name some of the key changes, health, magicka and stamina all regenerate faster, but now have a longer delay after they're fully spent. And managing stamina is much more important, as it's drained quicker through attacks, and there's bigger penalties for having no stamina. NPCs have better AI to assess the situation, and will rush and power through your blocks if they believe they have the upper hand. But to balance things out, attacking when the enemy is vulnerable will deal a lot more damage. And all this comes with a bunch of tweaks to damage numbers, staggering, armor resistances and more, which you can read on the Mods Nexus page if you're interested. As for changes to the enemies themselves, the Know Your Enemy Redux mod is included. This makes it so most enemies have either resistances or weaknesses which best fit their background. For example, a fire elemental will be resistant to fire but take increased damage from frost spells. And this carries over to armour, with different armours providing varying levels of protection against weapon types. Also, the NPCs Use Potions mod means that enemies will use potions to help them in a fight, just as you do. Third-person combat has also been improved, with mods like True Directional Movement and Smooth Cam working together to make the look and feel of third-person more like a modern RPG. As a final note, the Curse of the Undying mod is included, which means that undead creatures will keep coming back to life unless they are either disintegrated, decapitated, or have garlic placed in their inventory, which means you'll likely have to prepare fire spells and enchantments before taking them on in a fight. While I really like the concept, I agree with people who have said it makes dungeons a little too difficult, although the list author is well aware of this and plans on adding more methods for killing undead in their next update, as well as revamping many other aspects of combat as a whole. Krahven focuses on improving the world of Skyrim, rather than adding a bunch of new world spaces. Although, the award-winning quest mod, The Forgotten City, has been added, offering a unique quest line around 6 to 8 hours long, and more quests are said to be coming in the 2.0 update. As for changes to the main quest, the mod Skyrim Unbound Reborn is included. This provides new locations to start the game from, with a choice of equipment, spells, and whether or not you're the Dragonborn at all. It also automatically skips the first few chapters of the main quest, meaning you truly start off as nobody, and only get summoned to the Greybeards after slaying a dragon in the wild. On top of this, The Interesting NPCs mod adds in hundreds of NPCs across the world, with many offering up new quests. And the Missives mod adds small radiant quests to complete in every city. And finally, the overall landscape is mostly untouched, with improved textures being the focus. Although, some more vegetation can be found, and a couple new player homes are scattered about. The music mods Nightfall and Fantasy Soundtrack Project are included, together adding hundreds of new tracks to Skyrim, which you can listen to on their Nexus page to see if they're for you. And as for the sounds of the world, the mods Audio Overhaul, Immersive Sounds, Sounds of Skyrim Complete, and many more have been included, adding a breath of fresh air to the world and making it all the more immersive. Have a listen for yourself. The author of Krahven has let me know that a slew of new weapon mods will be coming in the future, but for now, the additions are mostly focused around new textures for Skyrim's existing weapons. But as for armours, new individual armour mods have been added, such as the Black Mage and Slick Wolf armour sets, each high quality and fitting into Skyrim's world. Plus the Common Clothes and Armours mod adds in over 130 new wearables, worn by the common people of Skyrim. There's also the Bandolier mod, which includes new pouches, bags, and bandoliers to help increase your carry weight. Then there's the new spells, with the mod Apocalypse including 155 unique imbalanced spells to find. And it's paired nicely with the Odin mod, which improves and fixes many of Skyrim's existing spells, while including some of its own. And finally, new foods and recipes are scattered throughout the world, including over 100 new types of cheese, because, you know, why not? For some extra points to talk about, the Dear Diary mod makes the menus appear as an old journal, and the customizable UI replacer is used to provide the HUD's new style. The Helps to Have a Map mod means that by default, you cannot open your map, but you can once you find or purchase one. The mod Thunderchild adds and tweaks shouts to make shout-centric characters into a more viable playstyle. And the same goes for vampires and werewolves, with the Sacrosanct and Nightmare Night mods making improvements to how they play. Many of the most popular companion mods are included, such as Inigo, Uri, Lucian, and can't forget, the Corgis. Then finally, there's a few optional mods, such as Khajiit Speak, which edits the player dialogue to actually speak like a Khajiit when you play one. And there's some extra hardcore mods to enable, such as the Breakable Equipment system, which makes it so weapons and armours have a chance to break if not taken care of. Now for some additions to the list, but first I must stress, any changes you make to the list has nothing to do with the Modlist author. You should only do so if you have an understanding of modding, and accept that any consequences are yours to deal with. I imagine some people will want to add new weapons, which if you do, just check they've not been added since this video's gone live. And if you want to add more quest mods, like Bruma for example, just try hunt for patches which may be needed. As for new mods in general, it's hard to say because of the specific focus of this list. Plus with the optional mods section, pretty much all of the survival aspects are covered. Although, it's worth noting, you can disable the alternate conversation camera if you don't like the camera zoom in when talking to people. And if you use ultrawide like me, you'll need to find and install the necessary patches for the UI. Krahven describes itself as being roleplay centric, with player-friendly survival elements, and I think that's the perfect description, as while the survival stuff is all there, It works to immerse the character rather than punish. There's a strong vibe of playing old pen and paper RPGs, where you can really customise who exactly your character is, and all those choices will impact the game. Right from the character creator, you pick your ancestry, your starting location, how much you have on you, and an optional past. It's just all this combined with the survival elements, which really immerses you into the world and adds personality to your character. All of this is on top of great visuals and good performance, so if you're looking to start a new survival-based playthrough, Krahven is a great place to start. And if you're unsure, take a look at their website, where some of the key mods are explained in even greater depth, so you know exactly what you're getting into. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like, as it helps the channel grow, and if you have any lists you want me to cover, feel free to tell me in the comments. I also have a Twitch where I'm going to stream soon, one day, and a Discord if you want to talk about mod stuff or anything else. Other than that, big thank you to my Patreon supporters, Cowlin Rana, Over, Alec Bentley, Emperador Wolf, Jack Ma, Michael Eric, and Christian Howell. Thank you so much. I recently moved out into my first apartment, and turns out the price of everything just keeps going up. That's fun. And so it's with your contributions that I'm able to, live and keep working on these videos as much as I do. So thank you so much. And I also have a Ko-fi account if you want to give little one-time donations. And thank you to Cosmic Hero and Fluffy the Sea Lion, who donated to me the other day. Thank you everyone, and farewell.